in a fancy hotel shows Phil Hartman behind the counter. Shows John Belushi, Gilda Radner, Chris Farley, and Jan Hooks enter the hotel wearing Chicago Bears memorabilia. Belushi walks up to Hartman and says, "Hey, Mr. Hotel Man, we want 2 rooms." Hartman rolls his eyes, scoffs, and asks, "Do you have a reservation?" Radner, "A reservation? I told you, Tom." Belushi, "I got it, Kate. Now listen here, sir. We here are from Chicago, and we don't do reservations in Chicago." Farley begins to sing. "We do Polish sausage, deep dish, Willis Tower, Picasso, hot dogs and bratwurst. We do the Bears, they never can pass and nobody cares. We're from Chicago, Chicago, Chicago." Hooks begins to sing. "Chicago, Chicago, that toddling town. Chicago, Chicago, I'll show you around." Belushi, "Thanks, kids. What my kids are trying to say through song, sir, is that we don't have reservations in Chicago. You just go right up to the hotel and get your room." Hartman, "Sir, you are in downtown Chicago right now." Belushi, "Oh, that's right. But you know, we're from the Irish south side of Chicago. We don't have reservations there." Hooks, "We're the Windy City Irish, where the crack is always best, where every day is Paddy's Day and everyone's a guest. If you're Irish on the north side or Irish on the west, welcome to the south side, come join the Irish Fest." Farley, "We're the south side Irish, as our fathers were before. We come from the Windy City and we're Irish to the core. From Bridgeport to Beverly, from Midway to South Shore, we're the south side Irish. Let's sing it out once more." Hartman, Actually, Hooks, "Our parents came from Mayo, from Cork and Donegal. We come from Sabina, St. Killian's and St. Gall. St. Leo, Visitation, Little Flower, and the rest. The south side parishes are mighty, they're the best." Hartman, "I get the point, but really." Belushi, "Oh no, sir. When the south side Irish from Chicago get singing, they need to finish it out." Farley, "We're the south side Irish, as our fathers were before. We come from the Windy City and we're Irish to the core. From Bridgeport to Beverly, from Midway to South Shore, we're the south side Irish. Let's sing it out once more." Hooks, "We live on the south side, Mayor Daley lived here too. The greatest Irish leader that Chicago ever knew. And he was always proud of his south side Irish roots. So here's to his honor, to his memory will be true." Farley, "We're the south side Irish, as our fathers were before. We come from the Windy City and we're Irish to the core. From Bridgeport to Beverly, from Midway to South Shore, we're the south side Irish. Let's sing it out once more." Hooks, "We sing the songs our fathers sang when they were growing up. Rebel songs of Erin's Isle and the south side Irish pubs. And when it comes to baseball, we have 2 favorite clubs, the Go-Go White Sox and whoever plays the Cubs." Hartman, "Are they done, sir?" Belushi, "Hey, kids, are you done singing?" Farley and Hooks nod. Belushi, "Okay, my kids are done showing you through their gift of song that they are Southside Irish Chicagoans." Radner cracks a beer, gives it to Belushi, and then opens her own. Hartman, "Sir, I asked if you had a reservation, but..." Belushi, "Hey, yeah, you know what? Let me guess. You're going to talk down my ethnicity, tell me about potatoes. Well, sir, you don't know the first thing about those potatoes. That we grew out of the alley behind Cork and Kerry, and how sweet they smell by the time of the parade. You can smell that fresh potato smell as you hear bagpipes and bottles cracking from the fights in front of Mr. Sub." Hartman, "Sir, I'll have you know that I grew up in Little Flower. And if you'd ever let me finish..." I happen to just ask if you had a reservation, but none is required. We have plenty of room available. Belushi. Well, in that case, dead from the earth, we're not alive. It's Saturday Not Alive, starring John Belushi, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Jan Hooks, Norm MacDonald, Gilda Radner, Danitra Vance, and with many other special deceased contributors. Musical guest, Anita Kerr, and your host, Johnny Cochran. Everybody, Johnny Cochran. Applause, applause, applause. Cochran. Thank you, thank you. Happy to be here. I was a lawyer, perhaps best known for my leadership role in the defense and criminal acquittal of O.J. Simpson for the murder of his ex-wife Nicole Brown Simpson and her friend Ron Goldman. I often defended my clients with rhymes like, if it doesn't fit, you must acquit. Applause, applause, applause. Norm MacDonald comes out. MacDonald. Hey, Johnny. Cochran. Oh no, are we really going to go through this again? Folks, in episode 26 of this program, I was getting a haircut at a barber shop, and Norm came in and asked me a bunch of hypotheticals. MacDonald. Well, see, Mr. Cochran, you know, I used to date Nicole Brown, but she left me for John Belushi, and then eventually Phil Hartman. Cochran. Okay. MacDonald. So if I were to take a knife, you know, and reincarnate Nicole and Phil in cold blood, how much would you charge to represent me? Cochran. Well, like I told you before, Norm, how am I going to say that the police are racist against the white man? MacDonald. Well, what if I committed the act in a jurisdiction where the cops are majority black? Cochran. Where are you going to find a jurisdiction like that? MacDonald. Why, Black Heaven, of course. Paul Mooney comes out and begins singing. Black Heaven, oh Black Heaven, the part of heaven where everyone is black. Cochran. Okay, Norm, I'd charge you a couple million if you were charged with reincarnating Nicole and Phil in Black Heaven. Phil Hartman comes out covered in blood and says, hey, Johnny. Cochran. How's it going, Phil? Hartman. Well, I went to see my girlfriend Nicole, and she happened to be with her old buddy Ron, so, things got a little messy. Cochran. Did you use tiny gloves like I told you? Hartman. I sure did. Cochran. And did the event happen in Black Heaven? Hartman. It sure did. Cochran. Okay, well, I got you, Phil. It's going to cost you about $500,000. MacDonald. Wait a second, you know. You said you'd charge me a couple million. Why are you charging Phil only $500,000? Cochran. For one thing, Phil's got better jury appeal than you. And for another thing, you're annoying as shit. Anyway, folks, we have a great show tonight. Anita Kerr is here. So get ready for Nashville Sound. We'll be right back.